Peace. Good day, y'all. Let me tell you, it took me a good time to wake up this beautiful sunrise. I went for another 3-mile hike yesterday, and it's got me a good warm. So we're gonna take our time and ease into this new beautiful day. How are you? What do you have in your cup? This is my one regret is that I do not remember the name of the artist who created this beautiful mug. This probably holds maybe 16 ounces. I got it over last summer in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. There's a cool little coffee shop in town. And I got this mug. Reminds me of dinosaur scales, if that's what dinosaurs or dragons look like. So let me go ahead and light the incense. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, and the incense I have is Morning Star. I grew up with this. My mother was Buddhist, the Nichiren Shoshu Buddhist, which is, Tina Turner's branch of Buddhism, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And again, we have beautiful ankhs by Infinite Treasures. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook. And I got back in Alien Con 2018 in Pasadena, California. And that one was from, I think it's Sedona, Oregon, Vortex, Oregon, something like that. So today we are going to look at hexagram number 26. Hexagram number 26, which is the taming of the power of the great. And that is mountain over heaven. Mountain over heaven. And the keywords, let's look at the keywords. The keywords are self-discipline, concentration, strengthen your character from within, self-awareness, and realizing potential. So let's see if we can put that there. Okay. So let's go ahead and pick a card from our Eckhart Tolle collection. Always some great quotes. Okay, so we are choosing card number 3, which is the wisdom of surrender. The wisdom of surrender. Oh, this is a long one. Okay, let's see. Can I put it there and read? I don't think so. So I'm going to have to take it and read it. Okay. Surrender is the simple but profound wisdom of yielding to rather than opposing the flow of life. The only place where you can experience the flow of life is the now. So to surrender is to accept the present moment unconditionally, without reservation. It is to relinquish inner resistance to what is. So there you go. Surrender is the simple but profound wisdom of yielding to rather than opposing the flow of life. So let's keep that in our hearts today as we go off, and may it be of comfort when that agonizing feeling arises that you feel that you have to fight and claw and make your point and try to redirect the traffic and force things to go in the direction that they're not naturally flowing in. May you have the grace, may we have the grace, may I have the grace, may we all have the grace to know how, when, and where to surrender. And remember, surrendering is not giving up. You're not giving up. You're not losing anything. You're stepping back. You're taking from the situation what you need in order to learn and to grow. And you're allowing yourself to relax. And when you relax, you allow yourself to be open to the wisdom that surrounds you, and the right information, the right windows and doors of opportunities will open up to you. And remember that song, uh, you may not always get what you want, what you desire. That may not always happen. But if you take the time, you just might find you will definitely get what you need. And I've learned that lesson over and over in my life. And I definitely, it's not something I believe. I know it to be true. I know it to be true. Okay, so we're looking at hexagram number 26. Binabel Wynn gives this hexagram the translated title of Holding Back, Imposed Limitation, Control, Forbearance. And that is mountain over heaven. And we will start by breaking down this hexagram into its individual bagua. And we have mountain. So let's see what mountain is. Mountain, again, keeping still, preserving energy through stability, resting, respite, completion, discipline, resting state rumination, meditation, and cultivation. And this translation, again, is by Binabel Wynn. You can check out her website at www.binabelwynn.com. It is an amazing feast. She has so many scholarly classes. I mean, it's through her work that I finally have begun to understand even just a little bit of the I Ching. And she has that practitioner course, which is very reasonably priced. And she has tons and tons and tons of other courses. And she's a Taoist practitioner. She has a book on Taoist, the craft of the Tao, I think it's called, the Tao of the Craft. And she's got like this 800-page tarot book. The Tao of the Craft, I think it's like 700 pages, but I digress. You guys know I'm a big Binabel groupie. She's just freaking amazing. She's a corporate attorney and an artist. Talk about balance. Okay. So the element is earth. The direction is northeast. The season of the yellow path is spring equinox. Season of the Lo Shun 9 halls, cardinal summer. Life aspect, knowledge, education, skills, wisdom. Medically is related to the hands, joints, skull, neck, upper back, shoulders, tumors, circulation, and blockage. The chakra is the root chakra. And the animal is the wolf. The archetype is the scholar, the artist, the immortal is Zheng Gao Lao, patron of occultists, alchemists, necromancers, and healers. And again, this is mountain bagua and over heaven. That's an interesting juxtaposition. Mountain over heaven. I mean, you can visualize heaven over mountain, What is a mountain over heaven? It just feels like weighted, this weighted barrier that's, but what is it holding back? Because heaven just permeates right through. Welcome, Pavel. Welcome. Namaste. Heaven, Kian. Creation, the creative force, divine yangs, strength and creativity, expansive energy, the sky, power, authority, the celestial kingdom, the immaterial and intangible. The element is metal, the direction northwest, season yellow path, cardinal autumn, season low shoe nine halls, winter solstice, and the life aspect is fatherhood, blessings, allies, friends, and opportunities. Medically is related to the head, brain, spinal cord, nervous system, mental or emotional states. The chakra is the crown, the animal is the horse, the archetype, the philosopher, the sage, and the immortal is Han Jianji, patron of musicians. So Professor Hong, his translation of hexagram number 26 is big cattle. So you have the Osho Padma Devi hexagram 26, the taming power of the great. And then Benabel, holding back, imposed limitation, control, forbearance, which I can definitely feel with that mountain over heaven. And then you go over here to theoretical physicist Professor Hong. It's big cattle, big cattle. Auspicious omen, do not dine at home. Auspicious to cross the great stream. So starting with heaven, we always start on the bottom and then we rise to the top. So in this case, heaven is on the bottom. Danger, you will profit. The wheel falls off the cart. Giving chase on a good steed. Good omen for hard times. The team, the chariot are ready, auspicious to go somewhere. Mountain, starting from the bottom yow to the top. Curving the calf's horns, great auspicious omen. Fencing in the gilded pig, auspicious omen. Blessed by heaven, sign of the sacrifice. Okay, I guess I could see where cattle played into that. And just note, you would never know that the original verse was speaking about cattle because all of our translations are basically interpretations. And I state that because I once had someone on the channel and they heard me reading from Brother Brian Brown Walker, and they're like, this is not a translation, it's an interpretation. Well, sorry, dude, or bruh, as my kids like to say. Correction, they're all interpretive translations because as Professor Hong clearly demonstrates, a word for word translation. Train gone. All right, so 26, spin a bell win. You hold great power and potential, but restraints are necessary to temper that power and keep it under control. Officers of the nation should not accept offers of benefit from their nation. So what? Wait a minute, read that again. Officers of the nation should not accept offers of benefit from their nation. Let that sink in. Especially as we look at politics today and how majority of the politicians are very wealthy. Decline enrichment from those you are serving. Say, what? Decline enrichment from those you are serving. If you forbear from accepting rewards or compensation from your service to the public, then your forbearance will bring you even greater prosperity than those offered rewards. An auspicious omen for great undertakings, advantageous for you to proceed on your endeavor. So there you have it. And then we end with Brother Brown Walker, 26. And his title is 26 is Ta Chu'u, the taming power of the great. In the face of rising tension, keep still. Honor and practice what you have learned from the I Ching. So we see in the I Ching a lot of, there's not much of a call to, what do you call it? To exhibit your force and exhibit your power. It seems more like the I Ching is teaching us how to lean back and utilize the flow, utilize the chi as it's, the opposing or just the chi around us, how to just lean back and basically use it for our advantage. So not a whole lot of exact exerted manipulation of the chi, but allowing of that chi to just move. And we're sort of, like how you see in martial arts. Don't exert your own force and power. Learn how to utilize the power, the energy, the chi of the opposition. A difficult and challenging time must be taken as an opportunity to express in the outer world our higher inner principles. This hexagram counsels us to keep still under pressure and embody the virtues of the I Ching. In this way, even the most arduous trails can be successfully met. Read that last line again. This hexagram counsels us to keep still under pressure and embody the virtues of the I Ching. In this way, even the most arduous, I love that word arduous trials can be successfully met. Pavel says, exhibit bright virtue according to the Tao, according to Tao. Welcome, Lapo. Welcome. Others are often tempted to test the inner strength that we have gained through study and discipline. By pushing and prodding, they hope to reveal the weakness of our connection to truth. Oh my gosh. Let's read that one last time. Let's contemplate that. Let's inhale this, because I've been there. I've put myself there, and I feel this. And it's something to remember. And I'll read the previous sentence as well. Others are often tempted to test the inner strength that we have gained through study and discipline, period. By pushing and prodding, they hope to reveal the weakness of our connection to truth. In this time and day we are all so richly blessed to be living in, so many of us have, on a wider scale, and I don't mean just like personal in our immediate sphere of influence, as in our family or our spouse, loved one, or partner. Our faith has been tested. Everywhere we turn, we're looking at, oh, you should fear death, fear this and fear that, and it's these moments where it really shows our true character. Are we driven by fear? Do we continue to make decisions and choices by fear? Or are we resting on the wisdom and knowledge that we have gained? Not things that we believe in, but what we have gained, what we have learned. It's an interesting thing to keep in mind. What is our metal? When our metal is tested. If we allow them to do this, we are undermined and they go on, unlearning and satisfied at having engineered our downfall. Interesting. On the other hand, if we keep still and cling firmly to what is right, the power of the great, then eventually we can tame the negative energy and instill in others the desire to grow spiritually. Wow. It is just such challenges to our strength and character that enable us over time to embody and practice the strength of the I Ching, a spiritual understanding, a spiritual understanding that is not practiced under fire is without value. Only by applying our knowledge in trying situations do we come into genuine possession of it. Now I'll read that one more time. Let me take a little sip of my tea. So what's in your cup, guys? Here's my cup in case you missed it earlier. I love this cup. Isn't it beautiful? So where were we? Okay. A spiritual understanding that is not practiced under fire is without value. By applying our knowledge in trying situations, do we come into genuine possession of it. So in other words, we cannot. Ooh, that's great, Lapo. She's got spiced chai. Where was I? I got distracted by the spiced chai. Okay, where was it? So I read a spiritual understanding that is not practiced under fires without value. Only by applying our knowledge in a trying situation do we come into genuine possession of it. So this has nothing to do with belief. This has everything to do with knowing yourself, the knowledge that you've gained in your life, but it is only a benefit when you actually apply it. Now I know what I was going to say. We cannot apply anything if we are constantly in fight or flight mode. That is where daily practice, meditation, asana yoga or jhana yoga, which is what yoga really is, which is meditation, which is contemplation, and everything else leads us, the physical yoga that every Western person thinks is what yoga is. That's only exercising of our body so that we can quiet our body and our minds down in order to sit and contemplate. Or you can do walking meditation. But we can only apply knowledge if we're in possession of ourselves so that we are seeing, hearing deeply, listening deeply, and able to really embody ourselves. We're not embodied if we're in fight or flight mode. It's like we're just above our body and we're like looking. We're not paying attention to what's going on in our body. We're completely absorbed with what is on the external. And when we're absorbed in what is on the external, we're not in full control of our faculties. So use these tests as opportunities to purify your thoughts and actions. By holding to what is correct in the face of pressure, you gain the strength and peace of mind of the spiritual master. You're allowing yourself to be guided by the sage. And who is the sage? Does anyone remember who the sage is? And as Pavel says, experience is the best teacher. That is so true. And activation and utilization of that knowledge, using it is, and implementing it and putting it into practice is the best measure of whether or not you've been a good student of yourself. So does anyone remember what is the sage in these references whenever they're mentioning the sage? Do you remember? By holding to what is correct in the face of pressure, you gain the strength and peace of mind of the spiritual masters. If you deviate from the path of the sage and act to punish or condemn others now, misfortune will result. Instead, meet attacks with stillness, acceptance, and fidelity to proper principles. Treat others with gentleness, patience, and forgiveness. If you are steadfast in this, good fortune will ultimately be yours. There have been times in my life when I found myself in quote unquote fight or flight situations where I naturally, well, it wasn't so, it was a conscious choice to approach the situation being the person, and acknowledging that their actions are a result of hurt people, having to approach that situation, the person, with grace. And the mantra that was in my head constantly was, there for the grace of God go I. And I had to keep, and that was, and let me just take a pause for a second. Pavel, you're correct. The sage is ourselves, is the superior nature within us, that part of us that remembers. It's our Buddha nature. It's the God within us. It's our divine self. It's our holy guardian angel that reminds us of who we truly are. That is the sage. But like I was saying, it was in those moments where I had to keep saying to myself, instead of being angry and meeting this situation, this person, with force and with anger, I had to keep diving into that deep wellspring of grace. And it was not always easy. And then there's been other times where I've been in situations where, the wounding felt even deeper. And it just, sometimes one situation may be even seemingly worse than another situation, but because where you are in the moment, where you are in the moment, you are more susceptible to grace. And then there's other moments where you're not as susceptible, but you gotta damn work hard. You have to remember who you are. You have to lean back on that. You have to allow yourself to just be and lean into the flow, because otherwise you can, in that state of fight or flight, begin to mirror that which is opposing you. And that's not good. That's not good. It might feel good in the moment and you might feel like you got a victory, but in the end, you have to face yourself in the mirror. And it's like, was that a reaction of true wisdom, of true knowledge? Or was that the reaction of living in fear, which is the opposite of flow and grace? And Pavel said, and what the cat says is correct too. All right, so I wanted to, let's see, where am I? I don't see my deck. Oh, here it is, right under the phone. I just happened to look down at my Instagram. It says Benabel Win added to their story. So I'm going to have to check that out in a moment. But right now, we're going to bring out Sapere Auld. And I don't know Latin, but Sapere Auld. Dare to know. And what do we want to dare to know? We want to dare to know self. The Philosopher's Stone. Okay, so let me go ahead and pick a card. Okay, so let's go ahead and shuffling the deck. My sheroes when it comes to deck shuffling is Benabel Win and Divine L D. I love watching D shuffle her decks. I'm so clumsy with it. Okay, so we're going to do the ninth card. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is message from Spirit for us today? What is the energy? The Rogue. The Rogue. There we go. The Rogue. What is that? The Seven of Swords. So let's see what the Seven of Swords has to say for us today. The Seven of Swords, that's the... Okay, we got the 6, 7 of Scepters, 7 of Challenges. The Rogue. The Rogue is mischief personified. Mischief personified. Here you see the story of Loki cutting off Sif's beautiful golden locks of hair while she sleeps. Sif is the Norse goddess of the earth, of plenitude and the grains, affinity, fertility, family, marriage, mother of might and magnificence. She was also a seer, the mind, the thought plane, and the intellect are the weakening barriers to materialized success. The Seven of Swords denotes an unstable mind and unstable effort. Your own thoughts and judgments are what undermine fruition. She wants to get in my lap. The Rogue is the spirit of cunning and scheming. We see compromised integrity, yet the rogue is also the personification of one who is misunderstood. So when this spirit appears to you, you are the rogue in pursuit of an undertaking that diverges from the mainstream. You may get blowback for it, and yet take heart that the toad on the lily pad is symbolic of a rainmaker, an omen of ambition that begets plenitude, while the snail calls in the grace of the eminence, the blessing of the 9 orbs, where the realms of 7 is the province of reasoning. The 7 of Swords is the reasoning that convinces you to act in clandestine, cunning, or devious manner because you're clever enough to get away with it. The 7 of Swords is the spirit of acting impulsively. It also shows someone fleeing from social norms who embraces the role of being the outcast in society. So that is the seven of Swords. So more of the mental, metal, more of the heaven, more of cultivating your knowledge. And the cultivated knowledge applied is the wisdom of knowing what to do next, knowing how to lean back, knowing how to use the situation to your advantage. Not fighting. You don't see Sif, she's a goddess. She's using this situation to her advantage. She's not worried about Loki cutting off her hair. She's got this. So this is a reminder that we got things under control, but we got to use that intellect. We got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know how to utilize the chi around you. Do not be in fight or flight mode. And remember, Sif isn't in fight or flight mode. She's relaxed, she's calm, she's asleep. And we have everything under control as well. And we have to know and trust that, not just to believe. All right, and our last card, and we're going to go, but I wanted to pull from Buddha Wisdom, Shakti Power. I haven't used this deck very often, and it was just calling to me this beautiful sunrise. So let's go ahead. We're going to pull the sixth card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. Okay. Make sure I got the right number. Yes, I did. So the sixth card is number 48. A fierce, what does that say? A fierce purba wielding blue dakini, conduit from the sky to the earth. Be fierce and vanquish whatever is holding you back. Resist that urge. Resist that urge. Allow nothing within you to hold you back. Resist and vanquish whatever is keeping you from exercising your mental faculties. Fear, being in fight or flight mode, can greatly hold you back and keep you going in circles. Resist that. Okay, so where's the book for this? Let's read card number 48, and then we're going to call this to a close. Let's see, number 48. Actually, I don't even think I've ever used these cards before. Number 48. What does it say? Number 48. This Dakini holds her Purba dagger in the staking position as her scarf billows around her in the inky gloom of delusion. She is fiercely committed to pinning down any obstructions to the Dharma and helping humanity even in the face of heavy, dark forces. Let's call on this Dakini right now. She is dark blue, as in the tradition of the movement center who commissioned her. She is part of the Buddha family. In the center of the mandalas, her color represents the central energy channel in the body, the Sushumna, where in advanced Buddhist practice, the energy is absorbed and flows upward to break open the dragon gate at the crown of the head, creating enlightenment, or creating space for one to truly see things as they truly are. Dakinis manifest in many forms and represent the potency of female energy to give birth, representing the creation of newness, of ideas, being, and levels of awareness. They range from beings with some levels of spiritual power, like sprites or fairies, to fully realized beings. They help arouse the energy of wisdom and tantric practitioners. A purba is a magical implement. It is the main tool of the deity Vajra Kilaya, a magician form of the historical figure Padma Sambhava, both of who, well, shouldn't that be both of whom? Both of whom are hiding here in this deck of cards as well. They are used for many magical feats. Wooden ones can be used for healing, and metal ones for exorcisms, or transforming the three poisons of attachment, craving, and desire. So remember, those are the three forms of poison: attachment, craving, and desire, everything that opposes going with the flow. Welcome, Sterling. Welcome. Okay, where were we? They can pin down negative energies from the mind stream of harmful entity or human person and dispel dark forces from a society or a single person. So let's call in all of these blue dakinis, and let's, use our mental faculties and use that. What was that thing called? A purba? We have to dispel the dark forces. We have to dispel the dark forces in society, and even the dark forces that might dwell within us, because what we see at large in society, I truly knows to be a part of our collective dreaming or our collective nightmaring. They are used in consecrations and meditation and weather making. They fix space to the earth like a lightning rod, creating a conduit between them. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get going. And thank you for being here. And thank you, Pavel. As Pavel mentioned, please like the video and share and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. I wish you peace, 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 abundant peace. Peace that is that wellspring. I wish for you, I wish for all of us that we continuously remember ourselves, remember who we are and what we are at our core. Thank you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Until next time, keep going.